Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Nina's audacious proclamation, "We must never forget Sam." According to the latest General Hospital spoilers, Sam McCall must be recognized for her part in Scout Kane's life, while Nina Reeves will make a daring statement. Here's what GH viewers will witness next as Trina Robinson also delivers a double rejection. To begin with, Elizabeth Baldwin will meet Liesl Obrecht prior to the wedding of Willow Tate and Drew Kane. Liz and Obrecht had some conflict following Britt Westbourne's death, but Liesl seems to be feeling happier these days. Is it possible that Liesl is aware of Britt's existence in secret? In the upcoming episodes, Jason Morgan will keep searching for Britt's answers, but only time will tell. Trina will not accept Kai Taylor's return in the interim. Trina will reject Kai again since he prioritized his allegiance to Drew over her family, even if he makes an effort to mend their broken romance. Speaking of Drew, he will agree to do Alexis Davis a favor when they meet. Alexis might insist on stability for Scout Quartermaine during this pre-wedding conversation, along with a pledge that Drew will be considerate of the fact that Scout recently lost her mother. Sam will also be on Scout's mind when she talks to Willow. When Scout asks Willow if she should call her mom, Willow will be surprised, but she could believe that Sam is the only one who should be called that. Willow attempting to take Sam's place would be impolite. Willow may explain that it can be unique and remarkable in its own way because she intends to become Scout's stepmother. Naturally, given that a significant secret is about to come to light, Willow and Drew's marriage may never even take place. Curtis Ashford will be prepared to turn Drew's previous passion with Nina against him once Portia Robinson forces him to play his last card. Nina will sob to Ava Jerome about how terrible things have gotten in the interim. Nina will feel that something needs to change because Willow has undergone a completely sinister metamorphosis because of Drew. Nina may want to come clean about those previous intense meetings and will make a dramatic statement about ending Drew's hold over Willow. If Curtis is the one to reveal the shocking information, it might not matter how much Ava tries to persuade Nina not to end her relationship with Willow. Carly Spencer will then think that the threat has diminished because Marco Rios was freed and Jen Sidwell consented. When Carly asks Sonny Corinthos to reassure her about that, he might say that he will stop at nothing to continue defending the people they care about. According to General Hospital spoilers, now that Marco's safety is no longer in immediate danger, things might potentially grow worse. We'll keep you informed on any potential reprisal scheme as Sidwell won't just let this go. Kelly Thiebaud of General Hospital verifies Britt Westbourne's comeback. According to General Hospital teasers, Kelly Thiebaud recently revealed that she would be portraying Dr. Britt Westbourne, a beloved character on the ABC serial opera. The ABC soap opera has been silent about Thiebaud's character since it was revealed that she would be returning, until now. In a recent interview with TV Insider, Thiebaud disclosed this and added that she feels incredibly lucky to be playing a part like Britt that she genuinely loves. GH fans have felt the same way, Kelly. The actress said, "I definitely missed her." Britt died in 2023 after becoming a victim of Heather Weber, also known as The Hook. It sounds like the GH writing team had their hands full creating a revival tale, even though her death was as final as they get. Fans will devour the Britt being alive narrative like a hot Saturday afternoon ice cream sundae, despite the fact that it is the most corny of plots. To get the bridge back on canvas at all costs. Fans are reminded by General Hospital spoilers that Jason Morgan was caught completely off guard while waiting at the Paris airport on Friday, July 18th. A woman who looked like Britt passed him as he was browsing through his phone. He leaped from his seat at once and attempted, but was unable, to stop the plane she had boarded. Jason was depressed and thinking back on the enjoyable times he had spent with his deceased girlfriend. However, it turns out that she is still alive, so fans can prepare for a love reunion between Jason and Britt that will be explosive. Thiebaud really stated to TV Insider that, as far as story goes, obviously, I want Britt and Jason to get back together. She added that she is eager for both Britt and Jason to continue their relationship and for Thiebaud to continue developing as an actress. According to General Hospital spoilers, there will be many storyline twists as Britt returns to Port Charles in some fashion and fans learn about her activities during the 2 years she has been gone, as well as how she managed to avoid death following Heather's attack. Scout questions Willow's mother about Curtis' betrayal. According to General Hospital previews, Drew Kane receives a request, and Scout Kane will ask Willow Tate a question about her mother. There will be a lot of excitement in Port Charles when Curtis Ashford proceeds with his treachery scheme. Carly Spencer will inquire as to whether her family is no longer in danger after Sonny Corinthos provides her with an update on the situation involving Jen Sidwell. Naturally, Sonny is unable to make any promises, particularly now that Marco Rios is at liberty. To protect Marco, Sidwell complied with Sonny's demands, but now that he knows his son is safe, he will undoubtedly strike back. Kai Taylor will locate Trina Robinson and confess that he would do anything to help them return to their previous location. Trina won't be able to forgive Kai for his betrayal, despite his sincere attempts to mend their relationship. Speaking about treachery, Curtis will be prepared to betray Nina Reeves' confidence. Curtis is going to take advantage of the fact that Nina told him about her previous passionate experiences with Drew. Curtis will carry out his plan when Portia Robinson encourages him to use whatever secret weapon he has. In the end, will Curtis be the one to tell Willow about Drew's sleazeball behavior? Meanwhile, according to GH rumors, Nina will give coming clean to Willow some serious thought. Ava Jerome will argue that she can't tolerate this any longer once Nina informs her that the situation is far worse than she had anticipated. But if Curtis beats Nina to it, she might not have the opportunity to be honest. Willow seemed ready to learn about Nina and Drew's sexy sessions before the end of the week, regardless of how everything turns out. Alexis Davis will need to ask Drew for a favor in the interim. That might entail preserving Sam McCall's memory in spite of Willow's recent stepmotherhood or something similar. Before the wedding, Willow and Scout will have a sincere chat. Willow may reassure Scout that she would never attempt to replace Sam or take away her title because Scout will question whether Willow wants to be referred to as Mom. Lastly, according to General Hospital spoilers, Elizabeth Baldwin will be shocked when she encounters Liesl Albrecht. Stay tuned for more updates on their reunion. The silence is deafening. GH fans want Charleston and Alexander to be remembered. It's time to honor the legends of General Hospital. In recent months, two cherished actors from General Hospital passed away. Denise Alexander and Leslie Charleston died in real life. Fans are questioning why their characters' deaths haven't been mentioned on the soap opera thus far. Are you still in bed? Monica is frequently mentioned by the Quatermains. On GH, she is still alive and sleeping. Tracy explained that she kept Wiley and Amelia in the Q house because of Monica. She was also brought up when Jason returned to the house and Drew attempted to move the family crypt. From bed, the Q matriarch says a lot, but how much longer can this continue? Viewers are eager for the family to declare her passing and honor her life after all these months. And her nemesis Leslie and Monica were Port Charles's Crystal and Alexis. Their battles were epic, and their rivalry was legendary. Leslie Charleston died a few months after Denise Alexander did. Leslie's passing has not been mentioned, much like Monica's. It is simpler to explain Leslie's absence because she was not on screen when the actress passed away. However, Laura's mother deserves a dignified farewell, just like her adversary. For what reason is GH waiting? It's no longer a huge surprise, but it appears that the renowned One Life to Live performer Erica Slezak will be coming to Port Charles as Monica's sister. This might be the start of a tale in which Monica, our beloved, dies. Leslie's passing is likely to occur later and could revive some Cassadine drama. Hopefully, it will even create a chance for Nicholas and Spencer to come back, most likely with new roles. Resurrected from the dead? General Hospital spoilers indicate that the week of July 28, 2025, will bring a shocking twist. Albrecht creates new drama, Drew focuses on Willow, and Jason believes Britt could still be alive. Marco's homecoming raises serious concerns, and Sonny is under increasing legal pressure. General Hospital spoilers indicate a week filled with emotional fireworks and bombshells as secrets come to light and long-lost foes reappear. As Britt haunts his thoughts, Jason Morgan strives for the truth. Jason Morgan can't get Britt Westbourne out of his mind after seeing him at the airport. Despite Carly's insistence that Britt is dead, Jason's intuition tells him differently. He is desperate to get answers because he remembers coming back from the grave himself. He tracks down Liesl Albrecht so he can speak with her face-to-face. However, Liesl is slow to divulge. She is too busy fostering a relationship with Rocco and inciting hostility between Dante and Lulu. Rocco keeps standing up for her despite being told to back off. As Liesl's presence intensifies, Lulu and Dante become increasingly alarmed. They are suspicious of her abrupt reappearance, particularly after she takes a selfie with Rocco beside the pool. Jason becomes increasingly certain that this isn't a coincidence. General Hospital spoilers, Willow tears up. Drew makes the connections. Drew Kane is aware that something is wrong with Willow Tate. He believes she may be responsible for Daisy's unsettling stalking. Her dubious responses only serve to confirm his suspicions when he gently probes her about where she was on July 4th. Portia attempts to alert Nina to Drew's dubious drug plot against Michael. The response Nina gives is one of terror. On the other hand, Willow is too tranquil. Portia is shaken by that. Regardless of what is right or wrong, Willow now appears to be exclusively loyal to Drew. The tension is also noticed by Spinelli, who is back in town for wedding-related matters. He notices a change in the atmosphere as he interrupts Drew and Willow in the middle of their talk. He remains aware of the underlying currents despite Maxie's disappearance. Jen Sidwell cautiously refrains from telling Ada Turner anything because she is still concerned for Marco's safety. Sunny faces more difficulties as Marco and Lucas rekindle at the PCPD. Marco, meantime, makes a comeback with a crazy, unreliable story. Despite Turner's disbelief, Marco maintains it. Following a cordial meeting, Marco and Lucas exchange more than just words. Lucas, however, remains enraged with Sunny and Jason. He snaps at Carly and tells her not to stand up for them ever again. Despite her pain, Carly gathers with Jason. Jason informs her about Britt's purported passing and Liesl's return. Both of them are aware that something is off. The week ends with Ada Turner promising to expose the truth in the wake of Marco's dubious rescue and Sunny's dubious activities. A crazy week ahead is promised by explosive revelations, emotional rifts, and a startling turn with Britt. When Carly from GH learns Jocelyn's secret, will she lose it? It's possible that Carly will soon be targeted. On General Hospital, Carly is going to get a big surprise. When she learns that her daughter is a WSB agent, what will she do? My daughter, the spy Jocelyn has turned into a spy without her mother knowing it. After Dex was killed, Brennan enlisted her in the WSB. She is working undercover with her handler, Vaughn, to find out what Professor Dalton is actually up to, so she is no longer just a college student. Anna has previously deduced this information and shared it with Dante. Carly is preoccupied with other things, specifically her relationship with Brennan. Although she has fallen deeply in love with the WSB bureau chief, she is unaware of his true motivations. In addition, Sasha's departure from town with her newborn granddaughter and Michael's custody dispute have kept Carly very busy. Joss hasn't been her main focus, but that is going to change. Betrayed when the truth is revealed, Carly's fiery temper will be stoked. Jocelyn has been playing a risky game with Dalton since she got back to Port Charles, and she has been lying to her mother for months about her trip to Easter Island being a WSB training session. Carly will be upset that she was kept in the dark because she and her mother have always been very close. She will be more concerned about her daughter's safety than anything else. Working as an agent puts Joss at risk of injury or perhaps death. Brennan comes next. When the owner of Metro Court discovers that he recruited her daughter behind her back, how will she feel? Her response won't be flattering. The man she fell for is going to make her feel deceived, and she might not be able to recover from that. He could be Carly's final break. Perhaps sooner rather than later, the truth will be revealed. I hope Joss doesn't get hurt. Brennan needs to be on guard since Carly will be looking for blood if that's the case. What do you anticipate happening? Tell us in the space provided for comments. Nina Reeves's reflection in her penthouse window was covered in broken shadows as the lights of Port Charles flickered through the rain. The city that had seen her fall, rise, and fall again was stretched out in front of her as she stood motionless, one palm on the glass. However, something had changed tonight. There was no more space for hesitation or regret. There had to be action. The door behind her snapped open, the sound piercing the buzz of quiet. Nina remained still. She didn't have to. She said, "You came." Shaking the water out of her umbrella, Liesel Albrecht tossed it aside and entered the apartment. As usual, she had a sharp, harsh stance. But there was something deeper burning in her eyes. Liesel answered, crossing the room with quiet accuracy, "I always come when the family is threatened." Nina looked to her aunt at last and said, "Especially when chaos starts to devour what little we've managed to salvage." They stood there for a while, two women bound by blood, pain, and too many mistakes. "Then I guess we're on the same page." Both had lost daughters, reputations, and parts of themselves, more than they had ever gained. What was left, however, was a fire that neither had mastered. Drew Quartermain had started it. Or rather, with his new self. Previously seen as a hero and a representation of tenacity, Drew has transformed into something darker, subtle but unmistakable. Seeing the degradation concealed beneath shiny floors and endearing smiles was like seeing a house slowly deteriorate from the inside out. Liesel, however, witnessed it. Nina sensed it. Now that Willow was moving away from her, they both realized something needed to change. There was no malice behind the scheme. It was a matter of survival. "Are you aware of his actions?" Nina asked in a forceful yet calm voice. To Portia. To Willow. To me, Liesel's eyebrows went up. "I've heard rumors." Whispers, however, are insufficient. Talk clearly. Nina let out a sharp sigh and started to pace. "He is threatening Portia and using blackmail to get her to keep quiet. And he's poisoning Willow against me with whatever power he has. He pulls her back 2 steps each time I take a step in her direction. He's tearing down everything I've worked so hard to put back together." Liesel listened, her fingers interlaced in front of her lips tight. Nina said, "And then there's Britt. He is heavily involved in everything that goes on in that lab, as you are aware. The investor has been mentioned to you. The messenger. Everything." "I have," Liesel remarked. Nina stopped in front of her aunt and said, "And I do not like what I see." The words lingered in the air, laden with implication, "Then let's do something about it." This was not about retaliation for Nina. It was about taking back what was rightfully hers. For Liesel, it was about legacy, about redressing the wrongs Drew had assisted in spreading, about Britt's memory. The goal was the same, but their motivations differed. Quartermain, Drew. Liesel walked over to the liquor cart and poured a clean scotch for herself. After taking a sip, she turned to face Nina. Nina nodded and said, "If we do this, there is no turning back." Liesel sat on the edge of the couch and said, "I know." Her expression changed to one of calculation. He is a strategic thinker. Slick. And, regrettably, smart. Nina said, "I was thinking, the Jacinda cover. You will have to hit where it hurts, but do it precisely. It is not dead, but it is inactive. We have few loose strands left to pull. Sufficient to cause him anxiety." "Not anxious," Liesel clarified. "We want to corner him. Men who are anxious tend to make blunders. Men in a corner plead for help. And if he doesn't," Liesel gave a small smile. "Then we crush him." Drew sat across town in his Aurora office, drinking coffee and narrowing his eyes as he scanned a file. Lately, he felt uneasy about the quiet surrounding him. He sensed that people were observing him differently and using more circumspect language when they spoke to him. There was something in the works. Additionally, Drew had always taken great satisfaction in staying ahead of the curve. He attentively rubbed his jaw while leaning back in his chair. Kai Taylor was the first thing that came to mind. Although Kai had been unusually silent, Drew had a sneaking suspicion that he was still watching Nina. Nina wouldn't be by herself if she was causing problems once more. He whispered to himself, "Liesel." Once, he had underestimated her. Never again. He grabbed his phone. He said, "Portia," after she responded. "Please come in," Portia said in a cold voice. "Why?" "Since I suspect our friends are planning something. And I need to know exactly how much they believe they know." Meanwhile, Willow was carrying a clipboard as she walked past the pediatric ward at General Hospital, her mind focused on the anxiety that had grown over the previous few weeks rather than her work. Michael was with her kids. Nina, her mother, was always a mystery. What about Drew? He was unique. She had trusted him before. Saw him as a stabilizing influence. Now, however, she could see the calculation behind his smiles. Every piece of advice felt like a calculated tactic. And something unsaid was causing Portia to crumble. Willow was aware that something was lacking. Something significant. Her steps faltered as she saw Liesel's reflection in the hallway mirror before she could fully see her. "Aunt Liesel," she said, startled. Liesel turned, a forced smile on her face. "Willow. You are exhausted. I could say the same to you." They both chuckled, but with a hint of sarcasm. Liesel remarked, "I was hoping we could talk. In private." Willow paused. "Your mother is the subject," Liesel continued. They located an unoccupied office, and after closing the door, Liesel got right to the point. "Nina isn't flawless. I'm not either. However, we are not the person you should be most cautious of. It's Drew." Willow's forehead creased. "What are you discussing?" "I'm referring to manipulation. Gaslighting. Command." Willow shook her head, saying, "He is trying to turn you against the very people who care about you." "No. Drew is merely attempting to assist. All he has done is seem helpful," Liesel cut in. "But that does not equate to good intentions." "You have evidence?" "Not yet," Liesel acknowledged. Willow scowled and said, "But we are close." "Who are we?" Liesel looked her in the eye. "Your mom and I." Willow got up fast. Even as she walked away, Willow couldn't get rid of the thought that perhaps, just possibly, what Liesel had said was true. "Then I think this conversation is over." Nina was on a video call with someone from abroad back at the penthouse. She spoke cold, clipped, flawless French. Just enough of the Jacinda operation was being revived by her to establish a trail that would lead straight to Drew. The plan wasn't necessary for her to be successful. Drew was all she needed to believe it was back in the game. Liesel was texting her updates by the time she hung up the phone. Willow feels torn. With her heart racing, Nina gazed at the message, "The seed is planted." Their strategy started to take shape in the days that followed. Media outlets receive anonymous tips. A low-key rumor regarding Aurora's financial audit. A fake email that claimed Drew was involved in hiding Sidwell's previous investments. Little by themselves, each strand started to knit into something indisputable. And Drew responded quickly, as always. He requested favors. Put more pressure on Portia. Threatened to disclose Liesel's previous Swiss connections. Even made subliminal threats against Nina, carefully worded but laced with poison. However, he started to reveal himself in his panic. Nina also ensured that any errors were recorded. Willow started asking questions at the same time, initially quietly. She thought back to her own conversations with Drew. She became aware of the patterns, the manipulation, and the subtle pressure he applied to everyone in his vicinity. The other woman broke when she confronted Portia. With tears in her eyes, Portia muttered, "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." However, he refuses to let go. He's always got something, some knowledge. He threatens to use it if I resist. Willow left, trembling. Drew received a summons to the Quartermain home a few days later. He discovered Liesel waiting there. By themselves. "What is this?" he insisted. She gave a flash disk to him. She said, "Everything we have on you. Every danger. Each and every modification. Every fraudulent investment record. Everything is recorded." He gazed over it, saying, "All dated. If you let that go, you also fall," he stated icily. "Maybe," she answered. "However, I've fared worse. And I'm not easily frightened." His eyes narrowed. What do you desire, then? Disappear, she said plaintively. Take a step back. Don't bother Willow. Don't bother Portia. He remained silent for a while. End this, Drew, before we end you. Then he pocketed the drive and smiled a little. You believe this is finished? Liesl smiled back at him. No. He turned and left, saying, I think it's just begun. Nina stood outside and waited. Did he accept it? She inquired. Liesl gave a nod. He did, of course. Now we watch. Drew's influence started to erode over the course of the weeks. Subtly, slowly, but definitely. What about Nina? She started to get back what she believed she had lost. Willow had yet to forgive her. However, she had begun to pay attention. Sometimes that's all the opening you need in Port Charles. Boom! A bomb is dropped by Curtis. General Hospital spoilers reveal the sultry secret of Nina and Drew. General Hospital spoilers, loyalty changes quickly and secrets blow up. Willow has an emotional conversation with Scout, while Curtis takes a risky step that jeopardizes Nina's trust. Port Charles prepares for a day filled with treachery, emotional interrogations, and startling encounters as Sunny gives warnings and Trina refuses to back down. Willow could pay the price after Curtis betrays Nina. Curtis has had enough of being the good guy. Curtis makes a pivotal decision while Portia is urging him to act. Even though he is well aware that it could ruin relationships, he chooses to reveal Nina's truth about her past with Drew. Although it might cause more harm than good, Curtis believes it is protecting Willow. Nina rushes to contain the damage as Curtis gets ready to speak. She now faces backlash from the public after confiding her secret to Curtis. Nina's admission might seem like too little, too late if Curtis gets to Willow first. Port Charles may experience emotional turmoil as a result of this betrayal. General Hospital spoilers, Willow and Scout have a heartfelt conversation before the wedding. As mayhem looms, Willow and Scout get to have a private, meaningful conversation. Uncertain of how to characterize their new relationship, Scout asks Willow if she should refer to her as Mom. Willow reassures her softly, emphasizing that she would never push a title or take Sam's place. This is a poignant and illuminating moment. Willow is kind and gracious, allowing Scout time to make up her mind. However, as their relationship becomes closer, Curtis might be prepared to blow the piece with a truth bomb. Willow's world might change before she ever says, I do. Nina acknowledges her guilt, but time is running out. Nina is unable to continue ignoring the reality. She informs Ava of the extent of the mess. She feels guilty and thinks about telling Willow the truth before Curtis does. She can't keep quiet because of her conscience, especially now that the consequences appear certain. Nina's timing, though, might not work out. Nina's confession won't seem sincere if Curtis reveals everything first. It could be interpreted by Willow as a lie by omission. Curtis is getting closer to the finish line, while Nina is caught in a battle against time. Spoilers for General Hospital, Sunny alerts Carly to Marco's return. Sunny informs Carly of Jen Sidwell's predicament and the dangers facing their family. Sunny doesn't completely reassure Carly, who questions whether the threat has passed. The fact that Marco Rios is free means difficulty for all parties. Marco is unpredictable due to his freedom, even though Sunny was able to get Sidwell to cooperate. The long-term risk still exists even though the Corinthos family is no longer in imminent danger. Sunny is aware that revenge will be exacted, the question is when. Liz is shocked when Kai begs Trina's pardon. Hoping they can find their way back, Kai makes a sincere plea to Trina. He acknowledges that he regrets what happened and that he still loves her. He is frank and obviously seeking atonement. Trina isn't prepared to forgive, though. Her heart isn't healed, and the betrayal is profound. Trina erects barriers in spite of Kai's feelings. With past scars continuing to reopen, their future is still unknown. When Elizabeth runs into Liesl Albrecht, they have a shocking reunion. This isn't merely a friendly greeting, Elizabeth is deeply shaken by it. Liesl's reappearance can reveal long-kept secrets or spark fresh conflict. Liesl never comes back without a cause. Her timing might be related to other plotlines that are simmering beneath the surface. Elizabeth's response suggests that Port Charles will have long-lasting effects from this unexpected encounter. General Hospital spoilers foretell treachery, heartache, and shocking revelations, so brace yourself for another action-packed episode. Jason needs to ask Obrecht why Drew thinks Willow is stalking Daisy. According to the General Hospital recap, Jason Morgan determines he needs to question Liesl Obrecht, and Drew Kane will believe Willow Tate is responsible for Daisy Gilmore's stalking. Nina Reeves questioned Drew at his house on the baby stalking case, because Sasha Gilmore Corbin and Daisy had been forced to leave the area. Drew denied targeting an innocent baby, but Nina suspected him because he had access and a motivation. She surmised that it was related to Sonny Corinthos. Willow first pretended that Portia Robinson was lying at GH regarding the blackmail and Drew's scheme to paint Michael Corinthos as a drug addict. But in the end, Willow came to terms with the fact that she would stop at nothing to reunite with her children if Drew believed this was the best course of action. Willow made it apparent that at this time, Drew was the only person she trusted. Nina was thereafter called by Portia, who updated her on Drew's drug addict setup for Michael. In contrast to Willow's unimpressed response, Portia believed that Nina's horror was a fitting response. Jason told Carly Spencer at the Metro Court pool that he thought he saw Britt Westbourne at the airport, but he wasn't sure if it was because Rocco Falconeri had brought her to his attention. Jason pointed out that he returned from the dead and pondered whether Britt might still be alive, despite Carly's insistence that he was dead. Obrecht gave James West some throwing advice at the hatchet-throwing range and remarked on how much he resembled Nathan West. Damian Spinelli finally got in touch with Lulu Spencer to let her know that Obrecht would be returning because he was also present for Liesl's time spent bonding with James. Dante Falconeri, who was having no luck interrogating Sonny at the PCPD, was called in by Lulu. Lulu informed Dante that Liesl would be returning to Port Charles. Lulu and Dante went to the pool because they were determined to warn Rocco not to approach Obrecht. Since Maxie Jones was out of town, Spinelli ended up discussing some wedding-related matters with Drew and Willow. After Drew and Willow had some alone time, the drama surrounding Daisy's stalking began to take shape. While he was abroad on July 4th, Drew attempted to inquire casually about Willow's activities, but she was clearly his top stalking suspect. Back at the pool, Rocco informed Jason that he would email Obrecht and arrange a face-to-face meeting to ask her questions about Britt. Just as Dante and Lulu arrived, Obrecht appeared and finally took a selfie with Rocco. Since he first contacted Liesl, Rocco has stood up for her, but Lulu and Dante were furious. Rocco obviously didn't share the same reasons that Dante and Lulu had for opposing Britt and Obrecht. Marco Rios and Lucas Jones had a joyful reunion after Lucas Jones saved him from the warehouse room he was trapped in. Lucas visited with Carly and made it very evident that he was still upset with Sonny and Jason for the kidnapping. Carly was cautioned by Lucas not to defend Jason and Sonny in front of him ever again. Carly knew it couldn't be a coincidence when she met up with Jason again and saw that Liesl had returned to Port Charles. Jason said he needed to speak with Obrecht after learning that Britt had passed away in her mother's arms. Fearing for Marco's safety, Jen Sidwell at the PCPD was cautious about what he told ADA Justine Turner. When Marco arrived at the police station with a made-up narrative about going on a stroll, falling into a ravine, and destroying his phone, he appeared to be in pretty bad shape. Then Marco said he had to change a flat tire and dozed off in his car with his eyes closed. Marco joined Lucas in his hotel suite after agreeing to sign a statement attesting to all of that, if needed. After taking a shower, Marco let Lucas to check him over before they went to bed together. Despite her inability to provide proof, ADA Turner was certain that Sonny was guilty of kidnapping. Turner contended that Marco would be dead if Sonny were soulless, even if he believed that to be the case. John Stamos and Jackie Harry, two soap opera stars, collaborate on a fantastic new show. This show is sure to be amazing. Days of Our Lives Jackie Harry and General Hospital alum John Stamos have done it all, almost, from sitcoms to soap operas to the 1980s. The two have now teamed up for a brand new Marvel animated series. Starring some well-known voices, a super show Iron Man and his awesome friends will debut on Disney Junior on August 11, 2025. Stamos shared a picture of himself with his animated Marvel character, Howard Stark, on Instagram to reveal the news. Did someone mention the Disney Junior film universe? I was Howard Stark in Marvel's Iron Man and His Awesome Friends, which airs on #Disney Junior. On August 11th and on #Disney Plus the following day. Oh, that was me. Stamos started his post. A list of the show's guest stars, including Harry as Granny Williams, was released along with a teaser for the upcoming series. Superheroes to soaps. This is not the first time a soap opera star has made an appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before co-starring in Black Panther, Michael B. Jordan and the late Chadwick Boseman, who were both former All My Children actors, portrayed Reggie on AMC, respectively. While a number of soap stars have also been in DC movies and television shows, Mark Hamill, who began his career as Kent on GH from 1972 to 1973, is another former serial star who achieved success in the Disney world. Although Hamill is most recognized for his role as Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars series, he also provided the voice of Arnim Zola in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.